Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Enthador. I'm Marcus Aurelius, and this is an appendix episode that I'm sticking inside the series of Foresthome. Now, it was asked in the comments to do an appendix episode, so here we are, utilizing the Legends viewer. And I thought, what better way to get started than to start with the year that our first fortress, Sandpillar, that's this over here, was founded, and kind of move forward from there. So we have Sandpillar was founded in 150. In 151, as you can see, we are getting in conflict with the Mangy Spider. That's this green goblin group. You can see they're actually taking over certain areas of our group, which is the Oaken Flags. And we get to 153. Again, continual struggle and strife. They're taking over more territory, but never Sandpillar. 155, and then finally, Sandpillar was retired in 156. And I don't like how the game does this. It might not even be the game. It might not be Dwarf Fortress. It might just be the Legends viewer program. But when a fortress is retired, it assumes, as you can see here, that that fortress is no longer a part of their parent civilization. At least as far as I can tell, because Sandpillar still exists. It's still going strong. It still has a duchess who is a noble of the Oaken Flags. And yet, for some reason in this, it does not consider it part of the Oaken Flags civilization. I don't know why that is. But then, as you can see way up here, this is when Foresthome, or Foresthome, began. And that is where we are now. So let's just take a look at, first of all, I want to get caught up with Sandpillar and what took place in Sandpillar. And honestly, Sandpillar, it's doing okay, but it's not looking that great, folks. So first of all, Sandpillar has been involved in a number of wars since we left it. In fact, probably more wars, well, definitely more wars than when we were there. Remember now, we retired the fort in 156. Well, right after we left in 157, there was the assaults of savagery. And that was a terrible defeat for Sandpillar, where only one goblin, Bosa, Black Pastimes, the Flayer of Bravery, was killed, and numerous defenders, 40 defenders, even though we won the battle, were lost. That includes such heroes that we became used to as Cursar. Remember, one of our human mercenaries. Riok, unfortunately, fell in that battle. Ragnar, Machine Fancies, M. Abdul Hakim, Thorgrim the Reader. Actually, I'm sorry. Riok did not die. They say died next to them when they died. But these three, Ragnar, M. Abdul Hakim, and Thorgrim the Reader, did die. Mans Holtkrantz. He was our mayor, wasn't he? It says cook. Glazed Syrups. Well, I guess that's a good name for a cook. Sharky Mouth, unfortunately, died in that battle. Hasun Ironbeard. So if you're wondering, why has my character not emigrated to Foresthome, it might be because they died. So Lael was killed in that battle. Reichtangle. Angrim Strongham. Urist McSkeleton. Hey, McVamperson is still there. I wonder if he's still there. Lysedwin. Aw. A dog. Another dog. A third dog. Two more dogs. So a lot of dogs fell. But those were our named dwarves who fell in the assaults of savagery in mid-autumn of 157. And then After that, there was the squashed sieges, the singed assault, and another huge loss for us, the fierce siege. Actually, we were the victor, but we lost 49 citizens, and the goblins only lost 4. Let's see if there's anybody we know in this one. Valton R, the Hugh Carew, Hargrim Ironhell, Weavericus. Oh, Weavericus, the crude end of sockets. Dang, one of our heroes. Isomore. Garaith. Madian McFinney. Catface. C Mansplitter F. Who are all these people that aren't named? Ari. Oh, Ari. Oh no. Ari Helmcactus. He's been writing letters from Sandpillar to Foresthome, I guess, from the grave. Ari, you wanted to know if you had family? Well, you have a mother, Zolban Lettertrammels, who is a clerk, and a father, Monam Coast Inks, was actually murdered. Your father was murdered by a goblin in 121. Your mother, still alive. Where does she live? Let's see. She's in Band Standard. Okay, so down here. So you do have family, Ari. Just want you to know. Alright. Dang, that stinks. And I wish it would remember where I was. That would be nice. There we go. Matthias and Roscoe Greenbolt also died in that battle. And once again, numerous dogs. Oh, we lost Avuz. Avuz armor-plated our turkey, who must have been a legendary turkey. And a chicken. Aww. And that were all the losses of the Fierce Siege. And then, since then there have been a number of attacks. The assault, or the attack of Fierceness in 159, that same year, where we win these battles, but at such cost. We took out 1 human at the loss of 15 of our own. Hopefully no one... Kriegmeister Merchant Lance fell in that battle. Alun fell, as well as Hephaestus. The funny thing is where all these dwarves that aren't named have come from. There's so many dwarves here. But here's the problem here. 208 dwarves participated in this battle. But if you look at Sandpillar today, there are only 40 dwarves living there. 2 humans and a goblin. But there are also about 60 dwarf visitors and 30 human visitors. So basically Sandpillar is being defended by a group of mercenaries that are twice as large as the actual civilized population. But you want to see something really funny? This I find entertaining. If you go to the most recent war in 160, the Onslaught of Squashing, you will find... Wait, is this the one I want? Or is I instead looking at this big one? The Fierce Siege. If you scroll all the way down... Come on. There we go. These 2 forgotten beasts actually helped defend Sandpillar in the siege. Aided in the defense against the mangy spider. They did a lot, actually. The attack of whipping. So this forgotten beast, Outcast, is just hanging out and actually killed a dwarf who was attacking Sandpillar. Bax hated wealth, the ungodly right of mourning. So that's nice to know that Sandpillar is being defended by Forgotten Beasts. So yeah, Sandpillar has been hit very hard since we retired it. They've lost so many. And they currently have 268 historical figures died at that site. And that's as far as I could tell, because this program, and I don't know who made this, but if they happen to be watching or someone who's watching knows them, it says too many events, please filter the events in the events tab on the left. And that's fine, but it doesn't work very well. If you could at least put a button or something that says show more events, or maybe go to the most recent events, that would be good. I mean, it's great to see the first events, but we're only at 153. That's like 7 years from 160. We're 162, I think. So that's 9 years from where we are. And yes, I can filter by events, and I could choose only certain events, but it's fidgety, and you don't know what events you want. So some option to either show more events, believe me, my computer has enough memory for it, or go to the most recent events. That would be so useful. But anywho, so that is Sandpillar. Still stands strong. In fact, we can take a look and see who lives there currently that we know. Or maybe not. Yeah, I guess there really isn't a way to know who the current population of the fortress is. You can look at the dates here, and you can see when people moved in, but that doesn't mean anything, because some of them moved out already. Like Dwarf Comic, who I just saw. There he is, Dwarf Comic. Curled Lenses. He's there, but he's not there anymore. So, another good thing would be able to see who all is living in a fortress at any particular time. I guess you can just kind of look at the battle. You can assume that anybody in 160 who was part of this battle lived in Sandpillar, but some of them have already moved to Foresthome, like Kaladin. So if I wanted to know today who's living at Sandpillar, I don't think I could. But so it goes. And now we have Foresthome, Fotherbomb. And Foresthome has only been involved in 3 assaults. Here's a list of all the deaths. Wait, how come Sandpillar didn't show all the deaths? The Dwarf Werebeast, Nebuchad, and Bluefang. Yep, I was right. Gendrick was crushed by a bridge. In the last episode, we lost Gendrick, and we were like, where did Gendrick go? Unfortunately, he was crushed by a bridge. That's a terrible, terrible tragedy to have to live through. Look at all the death. In such a young fortress, there's already been 39 deaths. Ah, that's terrible. But let's take a look at the Minotaur who attacked us. Godum Castlehood, the Gland of Strife. He's associated with caverns, chaos, darkness, or she, I should say, deformity, and strength. She has 2 children, Stormgut Gutsflight, the confident fist of Gauls, and a child named Saltheth. And Simon Ulander Whitbends was the one who killed her. Let's see. She's from Suck Zeals, the Outrageous Owl, which isn't actually that far. It's funny that she didn't attack Sandpillar because it's closer to Sandpillar, but she came all the way to Foresthome to attack us and die. But look at her skills. Great at all these different weapons. Did not help her much, though. She had 10 kills, including Whitman, who was in our fortress, a number of people prior to that. She rampaged across the world. Didn't kill anybody, they only killed one person in Still Spiral and Sweetness Saffron. Very interesting. Okay. Let's take a look at our friend Simon. Whoa. Where did Simon go? There's the former King of the Oaken Flags. former queen, Toulon Tame Seal. She comes up a lot. But okay, that's great and all. But, oh, there he is. Simon Ulander. Simon has a child, Lore Mindplanes. And where is Lore? Lore wants to master a skill. Lore is... It doesn't say. Where are you, Lore? I guess we're not going to ever find out. So, Simon's father, Dishmab, is Black Iron Tarkus's son, who is the great-granddaughter of Toulon Tame Seal, the former queen of the Oaken Flags. So I guess Simon Ulander is related to both, actually. On his mother's side, he's related to the former king, the lumbering troll, Mebzuth Mirrored Relieved. And on his father's side, he is related to Toulon Tame Seal. Stegar the Goat. Interesting. His grandfather? Yeah. And that's it, though, with named dwarves on this side of the family. Alright, that's Simon Ulander. Alright, so going back to Foresthome. Let's see here. We had the Dented Onslaughts when we first started. That led to one death on our side, where we lost... Who was it? Oh, here we go. The good man Agzak. Oil-kissed. He died. We were attacked by Estror, is who led the attack. Okay. Estror has 2 daughters and a son. He's a fishery worker, I guess, in his spare time when he's not leading attacks. Then we had the Assault of Mobbing the next year in 160. There were 2 deaths there, both of them on the goblin side. Song Malign-Seared and Asno Climate Maligned. The attack was led by Song Seduced Heated, who was a woman and has quite a large family. There's a ranger. Her grandfather on her father's side was a ranger. Her goal is to maintain entity status. Okay, I guess that's a good goal. She has many skills, but isn't legendary. Okay, interesting. So moving back. And then finally, we have the Bloody Assaults in 161. So the huge battle that... Well, that's weird. It talks about... That's actually really strange, because it talks about Gendrick being killed, and it talks about the Werebeast. So that, obviously, it knows about the most recent attacks. So why doesn't it know about the 800 goblins, or the 1,000 goblins that attacked us 2 episodes ago? That's really strange. So that battle doesn't seem to exist here on the warfare listing of Foresthome. That's odd. So the Werebeast was Umo Judge Savior's The Glacial Battle. And he just kind of came and went. And that's terrible. So I don't get to know anything about that giant assault. Maybe I have to wait till the following year. Who knows? Rampage of Unknown Beast. That must have been the Were Lizard. I can only imagine. And then the Rampage of Unknown Beast with 2 deaths. That's the Minotaur. Yeah, the Minotaur Godum Castlehood. I don't know why it's calling it an Unknown Beast. So that was the Minotaur attack. That was the Were Lizard attack. And that was the Were Rabbit attack. Anything interesting here? Too many events. Yeah, once again, I wish there was a way around that. Alright. So, let's see what's going on in the world here. The Oaken Flags is doing okay. It's got 2,862 members. It has 36 sites, and I guess 239. I think this little thing means a historical person. Whereas our nemesi, the Mangy Spider have 7,079, 54 notable. That's one thing. I want to see if the Mangy Spider has any, like, elite. Okay, so their leader is a three-eyed devil, Utheg Gutsflyer. And it's a man. I thought someone told me that their leader was a lady, but apparently that is not the case. And, okay, that's Utheg. But then we have a general, Uzbu Nonhate. And his goal is to rule the world. And he lives in Hellhide, which I believe is the main capital of the Mangy Spider. Actually, he settled there when he became the general in 148. Otherwise, he was a mason in Steelstruck. And he aided in the defense against the Empires of Confederacy. So he lost, and there was 1,405 deaths. Wow, now that was a battle. That was a battle. The Clash of Scrapes. The Mangy Spider lost 735, and the Empires of Confederacy lost 670. Where were the Oaken Flags during this? You think we would have aided our human brothers against the Goblin onslaught? I'm just looking here to see if any of these goblins have titles. Here we go. Nergzung, profane seduced the Union of Wines. Is dead now, but I just want to make sure that this civilization does have some known and interesting goblins. But again, if you have a title, that just means that you've killed 6 or 7 notable people. That does not necessarily mean that you are a expert or master at whatever combat craft you practice. So, like, I guess there's no way to tell. Again, that'd be another thing it'd be neat to see. I don't know if it's this program or what the export does, but it would be neat to see for a particular civilization how many masters that they have. That would be kind of cool. So that's Uzbu, the general. And I just want to take a quick look at all of the wars these people have been doing. Let's see. Where's our people? I don't see our particular fortress here, but let's see here. They're also fighting against the Coalition of Fellowship. Or, sorry, the Empire. They're fighting against the Empire of Glens and the Empire of Confederacy. So the Mangy Spider are fighting all kinds of people. And looks like the Empire of Confederacy and the Empire of Glens are actually winning. Well, this was a long time ago. This was over 100 years ago. They abandoned in 161. Just last year, they abandoned all of these sites that they had taken over. Wow, that's amazing. 5 animated goblins. Ooh, that's something. They have 2,946 trolls, 28 humans, 23 dwarves, and 3 elves. They have 3 elves working for them, and yet elves assaulted Foresthome. Huh. Well, that's funny. There's a human, or a dwarven hillocks called Foresthome. And that's part of our civilization. It belongs to the Oaken Flags right down here. It's not too far away from us. Actually, not too far away from Sandpillar. Look at that. Foresthome. That is hilarious. And then we have Foresthome, which is where we are currently fighting off the goblin hordes. So yeah, it'd be nice to know. Okay, so let's try this, okay? They say just try it, so let's go. Let's sort by battles. Or actually, that doesn't help us because it just... Yeah, that doesn't sort the actual events. Warfare? Events? Okay. Entity battle, I guess? And we'll search for forest. Oh, wait, no, because you have to... Yeah, it has to be the conflict, not the site. Huh. There we go. Events, though. We can do that. We can do events here. Deselect all. And let's see. Do they have an attack? Site attacked. Okay. Search. Foresthome. So this should only give us attacks. So it looks like in 161 early summer, the mangy spider attacked the Tree of Wildness of the Oaken Flags at Foresthome. The leader of the attack was Melville Ironcradles, a dwarf. The bloody assaults. This was in 161. So this must have been the battle we saw, but why are there only a handful of people here instead of the 1,000 that we saw? Yeah, this was the attack. This was the attack where 1,000 goblins attacked us, because at the end of that, Proserpina took out the elf who was fighting for them. Phala tax glistened. Oh, wow. Phala is actually related to Queen of the Carmine Saffron. She was suffocated by Proserpina, Lightning Mansion, it's a cool name. And her goal is to maintain entity status. Her former master was a dwarf, and her current master is a human. Okay, so she was abducted in 124 as a child from Gorge Cusps. Then she became a poet in Hellhide in 136. And apparently, she led numerous attacks. She led 2 attacks, I guess. In 153, she led an attack against Sandpillar. What? And then, okay, so she didn't lead the attack, so she led an attack on Sandpillar in 153 and survived, and then she was no longer a leader, I guess. I guess the shame of having lost the battle at Sandpillar demoted her in the eyes of her superiors, and so the next battle, 161, she fought only as a soldier and was slain by Proserpina. Proserpina worships Stag's Hill. Related historical figures, her master, Rovad Geartrail. Master in what? Glassmaking? Numerous relationships. She killed the dwarf Gavin, the dwarf Stinthad Wheels Drilled, the human Onek Sparklecalm, and finally the elf Phala Tax Glistened. She started off life as a ranger in Crater Coal, which is, okay, down on the other side of the mountains. Interesting. And then she moved to a bunch of places. She went to Tin Roads, Channeled Rhymes. She tried being a farmer for a bit. Didn't want to be a ranger anymore, wanted to settle down. But I think she got a little bit of wanderlust and stopped being a farmer just a year later and went to soldier machines. Then she became a farmer in soldier machines. And she was involved apparently in some foot races. And won. She was the winner of the foot races. Well, some of them. Not all of them. And apparently she went traveling in 150 and visited numerous fortresses of the Oaken Flags. Fortresses and hillocks. Until finally... Wow, look at all these places. All these different places she visited. She probably toured the entire Oaken Flags. She must have went to a number of places twice. Yeah, like Beached Queens in 155 midwinter. Then she went to Church Blazes and then came back to Beached Queens in the 23rd of Obsidian. So I wonder why she was doing all this traveling. Until finally, went back to Beached Queens. Until finally she left the Oaken Flags. No. On the same day she settled at Foresthome and then became a member of the Oaken Flags once again. and became our militia commander. And that is the life of Proserpina, our militia commander. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, well, I hope you enjoyed this look at the legends and stories surrounding our two fortresses, Sandpillar and Foresthome. And I'm really upset that it doesn't show all 800 to 1,000 goblins that attacked us in that one battle, and only shows that we were attacked by like 8 people. Of course, now that you think about it, if you look at all the battles that Sandpillar took place in while we were there, you only see a couple names there too, and not the huge volume of people who attacked us. I'm wondering if maybe in order to show up on the list, they have to participate in the battle. And what I mean by that is they have to be shot by a bolt or kill an animal or something, you know? That's what makes their name appear. Otherwise, if they just attend the attack but stand around and then leave, they don't, I guess, warrant showing up on the list, even though every single dwarf in our fortress or whomever's being attacked gets the right to be called the defender, even if they took no part in the active defense. That's really interesting. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, I am Marcus Aurelius. I'd like to thank you very much for watching. Have a good one.